Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Namaskar, namaskar. Saguna Nirguna, no? Very important topic.
Mama's forgotten to put off his bank.
So in the case of Saguna, both are valid. Both are valid. How we look at it, that is important. But the only thing which Papa indirectly or directly makes a mention about it is that it should not localize or restrict. We have to check up. This is not a question of any dictum or a dogma or a suggestion or a proposal. Each one has to verify for himself. When I go to a temple, when I come out, is there anything that is touched and kindled in me? Need not necessarily be outside, something that kindles in me, you know. So when I stand before the Ishtadevata, and after that when I come out, what is it that I carry? Then the real purpose is served. But most of us, when we come out of it, we are back to square one. The me and mine is intact. Even while we are standing in the queue, our anxiety is to go first, you know. And we unknowingly, unwittingly, we don't even mentally feel that this temple visit is to make us to know that he is there in everybody. Please think about it. So this preparation, Puja Swamiji, when once, he was invited to a nearby temple. So we all went with Puja Swamiji. There he said, Swamiji normally doesn't talk much. So they insisted you share a few words at least, Swamiji. So spontaneously these words came. It struck everybody. A very wonderful guidance for temple visit. He says it would be preferable. Swamiji's language will be like that. No should or no. It would be preferable The moment we are prompted to go to a temple, the moment we step out of our house, till we reach the temple, let us think about the deity. Let us think about God in any form you feel like. Let not any other topics enter into our mind. No politics, no business, no mobile, no something like that. So that the mind is getting prepared by the time we go to the temple. And see for yourself that the feeling that wells up with that mental background. Suppose we say we are going to a Vishnu Kshetra or Krishna Kshetra, temple of Krishna. We just start thinking about Lord Krishna, whatever we have heard, whatever God has made us to know about him. And then we prepare with that mindset, we go there and stand before the deity. Swamiji said, it will be definitely plus point only. Many a time you will be in ecstatic feeling. And then when you come back, also ensure till you reach your house, avoid talking anything other than that. So the real purpose of temple visit is to dwell on God remembrance. He is there everywhere, but he is now causing us an opportunity, facilitating us an opportunity to think about him intensely, and we try to carry this as much as possible. If that predominates the mind, the me and mine, the role of me and mine will definitely be reduced. If somebody is outside asking for something, our attitude changes. It will not be me and mine. But of course, this has to be pondered over. Hearing is not going to help us. It has to be pondered over. After that, wherever the opportunity is provided by him, we used to share this because it is a new line of thinking of a temple visit. And practical. It is not you get into the vehicle, you are reached there, in 10 minutes you are in the temple. So instead of talking so many things, we can do that. But even if we don't want to, somebody else will be talking something that we cannot stop it. There, how will we handle? Only we have to seek his guidance. Otherwise, the temple visit, the deity visit, the Saguna worship, it is limited to, self-centered satisfaction. I pray that if such a thing happens, I will do something for this temple. That is also there, So I go there and I have this feeling, thanksgiving. Last time I prayed and he blessed me with this. And this is what I was prompted. I put money or something, some offering will be there. Okay, that is perfectly okay. But later on, it should blossom to something else. Initially, the Lord may be prompting us to think on those terms. At least by that, you come to me. And then later on, we should try. So otherwise, Saguna worship, in the Nirguna worship, all these risk is not there. Because wherever you are there, you just close your eyes. You are in touch with him. You can bring the same form also. Wherever you are, you can bring the form which you are comfortable with. Other risk is not there.
Swamiji, தினமும் வீட்ல இருந்து சத்சங்கத்துக்கு போகும்போது நேதிக்கு என்ன சொன்னா அது நினைச்சிட்டு வருது முடிஞ்சோட அது ஒரு சின்ன பிராக்டிஸ்
we can try. At least after this satsang, whatever that is discussed, if that predominates our mind, purpose is served. Suppose the me and mind comes immediately after the door, we do the touch. And somebody will say, yesterday satsang was very thought-provoking. Yes, thought-provoking. What was the thought? it doesn't get registered. So all these things, it is touching and kindling the various aspects. There is no do's and don'ts. There is no rights and wrongs. Each one may be deriving some joy. Otherwise, they may not go to the temple again. We have also started analyzing. We used to regularly go to Shabarimala, 15, 16 years. With this background, no doubt. And we used to enjoy. Every year we will say, this is our last trip. And some friends will say, no, we will go. We'll go. In 2 days we can go and okay. And the last leg of the journey is 3.5 to 4 kilometers, very steep hill. Very steep. And then when you reach there, we only choose certain months where the rush will be less. Otherwise, one has to be in the queue for hours together. And we can see people waiting there for hours. Hours mean 5 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours with the irmudikattu on their head. So we used to think the intensity of their faith, Nobody withdraws. Intensity of their faith. Probably to watch that also, we may be. So we cannot say this is that is this. Probably that is why in this inquest of God, in Tirupati, he did not bother to enter to the temple. But in Puri, he developed, he prayed. I don't think I will be able to have your darshan in this crowd. Immediately somebody comes and takes him to the darshan. So why Papa was made to go through this, and why it was narrated, and why it is being discussed? These are the things which, as a spiritual aspirant or a sadhaka, we keep on thinking about, not for intellectual assessment or intellectual exercise, but to know more about it. We should have an open mind. We had shared this, but for the sake of newcomers, when we moved from Chennai to Wayanad, and whenever we hear Swami Chinmayanandaji will be visiting Calicut for Gita Jnana, about 70 kilometers, Ghat section. So after our office hours, 5 o'clock, we leave by motorbike, reach Calicut by 6:30. 6:30 to 8 is the, and then we attend and then come back in the night. So the day of inauguration, once, it was to be inaugurated by a great Bhakta, Anyam Namboodiripad, very great Bhakta of Guruvayur. Gita Jnana Yajna inaugurated by a great Bhaktottama, not even Bhakta, Bhaktottama. So we have the darshan of two Mahatmas, not only Chinmayanji Maharaj, but also Anyam. So when he was requested to deliver a few words of wisdom, he went to the mic in Malayalam, he said, like an innocent child, Later on, Papa used to give us some idea about those who have scaled the heights. Spontaneity, simplicity, and humility, These are all the marked signs of a highly realized one. Spontaneity, simplicity, humility. So as soon as he went to the mic and said, I don't know any Vedanta. Those things are handled by Chinmayananda Swamiji. I only know one thing. Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. All of you come to Guruvayur. Mentally also now you come to Guruvayur. Be at the holy feet of Guruvayurappan. He will take care of everything. He has been taking care of all of us. He will also take care of you. Then after that, he had his nama. Narayana, 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 Narayana. For 5 minutes. Thrilling. And sat down. This was all the discourse he did. And Swamiji, he says, if Tirumeni, they are addressed as Tirumeni. If Tirumeni says he doesn't know Vedanta, who knows Vedanta? The height of bhakti is Vedanta only. in a different tone, that's all. Where we are trying to understand the indwelling and all-pervading reality as with name, with form, without name, without form, they with name, with form, they identify. To them, 24/7, only Guru Ayappan is there. That is what is needed, constant God remembrance. That gave us a lot of clarity. Because that saint, his life is like also like that. Narayanalayam. In a small room he was staying. But always this Narayana Japam only Narayana Japam. There is no tune, no other thing, bhajan. Narayana, 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 Narayana. And you will be there for hours together, I tell you. Anybody who starts hearing it, hours together one will be with that. And there are 41 days, some brothers are also, Narayana Japam is going on. People take some sankalpa that we will do there for many devotees, even grihasthas, they take to this vratam, vows of spending there for 21 days, 10 days, and then they will have their prasadam at the Yavasambhu temple. Eh? Anything? Mandalam. Something will be there. Mother, we had gone and she was there for 30 days or 40 days. So when she came back, we asked, what was nothing else? Narayana, 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 Narayana. So every time only Narayana, excepting the time of eating. All Narayana, Narayana only. And at the fixed hours, we go and have the darshan of the Murti also and take prasad, take tirth, everything will be there. So it was a wonderful lesson for us. A darshan, a physical darshan, at the same time, not merely going and coming back. Stay there and do Narayana Japa.
Did he have a guru?
Eh?
Did he have a guru?
I don't know. We don't know about Anyam Nambudiripad's guru.
Where he got Narayan from?
Must be there somebody. Narayan. The moment you see him, very great soul, very great soul. And now also we were again called to have some program there in the place where he lived. We don't exactly remember. We went there. Normally it's difficult for us to go to Guruvayur direct, by vehicle 5-6 hours you have to be there. But when the moment we heard it is Anyam Nambudiripad's Narayana Alayam is going to be served, and that one Swami came and said, you be there for 10 minutes, that's all. We don't know. Okay, we went. And because of him, we immediately rushed up. We saw his room and everything. Very, very simple. Why we mention, so nothing is to be belittled. Though we don't have any idol worship here, Papa was very clear about it. Very clear. Even later on, we will find in Mathura, the beautiful word he mentioned. He was in ecstatic mood, When we reach there, we will find very touching word. Panchavati Tapovan, Trampakeshwar, Pandharpur, Bijapur, Siddharudha Swami. Where is Dwarka? Vrindavan. Mathura, Vrindavan. No. See, Papa's words. Ramdas lived there in a state of complete ecstasy and rapture. Days passed by unconsciously. The whole state seemed to be a long-drawn, sweet, pleasant dream. The very air, Vrindavan, is a very delightful place. Here the same Jamuna flows in all her tameness and purity. There are beautiful natural gardens of neem and other trees. To sit under the cool shade when the fresh breeze is blowing over the place from the bosom of Mother Jamuna is to enjoy heaven itself. He was charmed with the place and stayed on the banks of the river for a fortnight, made the dry sand his bed and seat for the night, and the shade of the tree a little above his resting place for the day. Moonlit nights here were all bewitching. The very air seemed to be charged with the presence of that love incarnate Sri Krishna. And when soft breezes were blowing, they seemed to be carrying into Ramdas's ears the maddening music of Sri Krishna's flute and the silvery sound of the tinkling tiny bells of his blessed dancing feet. Now and again, a deep, soft, resonant voice would travel in there, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam. Ramdas lived there in a state of complete ecstasy and rapture. Days passed by unconsciously. The whole stay seemed to be a long-drawn, sweet, pleasant dream. So he places before us that none of you be under the impression that Nirguna Nirakara aspect alone is advisable. No. But we feel that when the Nirguna aspect is getting stabilized in us, everything becomes valid. Because he is there everywhere, his presence is keenly felt in some place. That's all. He is there in every place. His presence is keenly felt. In places where lakhs or crores of devotees praise their bhakti there. Anyhow, the next chapter, Christ, a messenger of God. Godliness or goodness cannot be restricted to any particular segment of people. God brings forth illumined souls in different parts of the world to guide and lead different people. Respecting the faith of others aids in connecting with them. Developing a universal outlook is a gradual process of expanding the love circle. Selflessness and sacrifice express the greatness in a person. The incident, what was that? The ticket inspector was asked to ask them to get down. So Papa was at that time carrying 3 books, Bhagavad Gita, the Light of Asia, and the New Testament. So he was a Christian. Suddenly we asked them to get down. And he started taking their possession one by one. So Sadhuram had one pot, brass pot. So the next, the friend pulled his bag towards him and opening its content, finding nothing worth taking, handed it back. Now what have you got? He asked Papa. He placed his pot and parcel of books. Brother, these 2 articles are yours. The small pot is not wanted. The brass one is more suitable. Now what is this that you have in the parcel? He fell upon New Testament at the very top of the packet. What have you to do with this book? Everything, brother. You believe in him, in Christ? Why not? Christ is also the messenger of God. This reply at once touched the heart. Master, kindly pardon your servant who gave you a good deal of trouble without knowing you. Saying this, he led both inside the station and offering 2 chairs. Okay, look here, Master, another train is due. On his arrival, I shall see that both of you are comfortably seated, and then you can proceed. Your servant regrets very much the treatment meted out to you and sues for your pardon. That is the background. So the message given to us, godliness and goodness cannot be restricted to any particular segment of the people. Yesterday also when we were going through the PPT, you will find people are staying in different. They may be believers, non-believers. They may be of this faith or that faith. But whatever they have given to the society, it is available for everybody equally, no? They did not specify. Suppose he is a scientist. He did not specify that this will be available only to a particular segment. Everything is for everybody. A simple brush, which everybody takes in the morning. toothbrush. We did a little research on all this. We couldn't proceed further. And that particular file also, folder also, we don't know where we have kept. But this we remember. That was brought out by one Dr. Addis in US in 1700s. The first brush. So when we take the brush, we remember that, no? He did not specify the beneficiary. So similarly, how can I specify? Suppose I am instrumental in bringing out something. Prior to coming to ashram on a full-time basis, we were all involved in coffee estate management. We produce coffee, you know. The produce goes to different countries. So whatever we produce is also consumed by different, they may not know us. We may not know them. So all these things, you know, connect us with the. There's a beautiful sloka in Maha Upanishads. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the last line. That is, Indian spirituality or Sanatana Dharma stands for that. It's a beautiful message for the G20 meet. That was the, what do you call that? Message. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It has come from Maha Upanishads. It says, anybody who thinks in terms of a narrow mind, no. Anybody who thinks about broader, he is fit because all of us belong to one family. The entire world comes under one family. Because we used to say, Papa mentioned this in a beautiful article. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Yes. Control N. Here is it. The life principle that activates all being is the same. Anywhere, any place, no? Morning we discussed about life force, the heartbeat, the blood circulation, the digestion, the breathing, everything same. The life principle that activates all being is the same. We all breathe the same air, walk on the same earth, and are equally entitled to the enjoyment of the amenities which nature provides. Air to breathe, water to drink, earth to exist, space to move about. Sun, rains, metals, minerals, gases, all, no? So we all breathe the same air, walk on the same earth, and are equally entitled to the enjoyment of the amenities which nature provides. The earth yields its rich gift to all alike. The differences between man and man on the material plane are, in truth, unnatural and improper. For the component parts and composition of human bodies and the qualities inherent in them are not diverse and conflicting. If we look with the pure vision that belongs to an enlightened mind, we do not see any clear-cut line of demarcation that isolates man from man, one set of people from another, one nation from another. We are indeed parts of a stupendous whole. We are units that form the world community or family, so we can live and act as members of a world brotherhood or federation.
I am Nij Paroveti.
That
Yeah.
Ayam nija paroveti gananam laguchetasam udara charidanam tu vasudeva kutumbakam. Who discriminate this one is a friend, the other one is a stranger, are people with petty mind. And people with evolved consciousness embrace the entire world as their own family. Vasudeva kutumbakam. So that is the background. These are all the advantages of going through this. It touches and makes us to remember all these. Godliness or goodness cannot be restricted to any particular segment of people. God brings forth illumined souls in different parts of the world to guide and lead different people. Respecting the faith of others aids in connecting with them. Developing a universal outlook is a gradual process of expanding the love circle. Selflessness and sacrifice express the greatness in a person. From there we move to Calcutta. Biographical sketches and teachings of Mahatmas are guidelines for a fruitful life. Reverence for a Mahatma is to be based on the ideal he kindles. Values kindled by saints prepare us to undergo tests given by God. Pray for grace to overcome attraction for the opposite sex and be vigilant about it. Some word for stand. So biographical sketches and teachings of Mahatmas are guidelines for a fruitful life. So many a time when we carry on with our sadhana, there may be many moments where we get stuck, we get dispirited, dejected. We should never lose faith. Immediately, when we go through the biographical sketches, we find they were also subjected to go through such things. And ultimately, when they were persevering in their project, they were blessed with success. So periodical. We find this, for anything and everything, we have a reverence in Papa's life. Because the more we go deeper into it, we find. Not because he left everything and became a saint. His very life, he is placed before us. That is the textbook for all of us. And how it came out in the form of words of wisdom. Every now and then, not only it should be restricted to anybody. And we don't have to plan. God will make us to get in touch with Mahatmas at the time he appoints. All of us can go back to our own days, how we were connected to different saints. When there was no philosophy or Vedanta talks or something like Vedic studies, still in the village life, I'm talking about, say, 50, 60, 70 years back or 80 years back, in simple life in village, every family in the village, they will have one Kula Devata. They will be linked to one deity. Because as an individual, as a family man, as a professional man, as a social man, I am likely to get kicks and knocks. I need a prop as support. Our good old people said, if you pray to Kula Devata, you will be safe. Simple faith. And once in a year, we are supposed to go there, whatever may be our preoccupations, wherever we are, all the family members will join and go to the Kuldev. Even today, in many, many families, they are doing it. They may be in states or somewhere. The other day, when somebody comes here, they will say, we have to go to Palgad. Our Kuladevata is there. One day we have to be there and then go back. Very, very, very pleasant to hear this. That means why, that means even if you don't have any other backing, at least you have in your mind your Kuladevata is there, the deity. The deity will take care of you. The anchor, something on which we can hold on. That is the Indian culture. Somewhere it will be connected. So biographical sketches and teachings of Mahatmas are guidelines. Reverence for a Mahatma is to be based on the ideal he kindles. Otherwise, it will slip into attachment to the body. It will not help. Because when we analyze, why are we attracted towards him? Not because of the body, because of the values he exemplifies, he personifies. But unfortunately, after some time, we shift that to this. So that should be very clear. Those values, we are thankful to that body form because we are connected to the values through that form. Our connection should be with the values and revere the form through whom we were made to get kindled. Values kindled by saints prepare us to undergo tests given by God. Pray for grace to overcome attraction for the opposite sex. That is for sadhakas. Not only for sadhakas, for everybody nowadays. Why did we mention that? Maybe.
Suppose Papa had his own unique way of cracking jokes and making people
Oh,
laugh.
because Papa had his own unique way of cracking jokes and saying.
That is right, but why?
There must be some reason why.
No, he speaks about this, but in this particular chapter, why did he do that? There should be a purpose. We'll see later. Okay. Then we go to the Tarakanath temple. Care should be taken to see that we do not look down upon someone's unusual behavior pattern. Exemptions for valid reasons to be considered while adhering to norms. Maya teaches wise students observing and learning from every situation. Swayambhu, a reminder of the birthless and deathless nature of Ram. Care should be taken. Bengali sadhu was standing.
நிறைய சாப்பிடுவது ரொட்டி சாப்பிடுவாங்க
Puri, multiple puris.
Huh?
He ate multiple puris, no? That sadhu.
Right. Here, yes. Care should be taken to see that we do not look down upon someone's unusual behavioral pattern. One sadhu, at 11 o'clock, an old friend in the manager of the kshetra called the sadhus, counting the number required, and let them in one by one. On a long veranda in 2 rows facing each other, all the sadhus sat down and leafy plates were placed before them. When the food was being served, a new sadhu, a middle-aged, came in and demanded food. The manager of the kshetra at first refused to take them as the number to be fed was complete. But at the mention of the fact that the sadhu had not had meat for 2 days past, he was also offered a leaf, and he sat down at a place which happened to be just opposite to Ramdas. The dinner consisted of wheat puris, pretty thick and about 16 inches diameter, some bhaji or curry, and sweets. At first, each one was served with 2 puris. The puris, having been prepared out of mill-made mixed wheat flour, were flexible like rubber. Ramdas was wanting in teeth. In all, he had not half a dozen in his mouth. Even those who had the full complement had to struggle hard with the puris before they could be thrust down the throat. Ramdas's case was hence unique. Now the sadhu, the latest arrival for the dinner, sitting in front, was observed to have finished his share in less than 2 minutes. He was served again with 4 puris, which also disappeared in a trice. Again 4 more. They met with the same fate. The sadhu was looking up for more. At this juncture, the old friend ordered the cook to fetch out the whole stock of puris from the kitchen. Then he approached the sadhu. Maharaj, you may take as many as you like. And he saved 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on until he counted 20. Still the sadhu would not stop. 4 more, and the friend stopped, assuring the sadhu that he shall have some more after finishing those already served. At this stage, the attention of all sadhus was directed towards this voracious eater. All commenced to watch his eating process, but for himself. The sadhu was calm, determined. Puri after puri disappeared. It mattered not for him what was going on around him. At 24 or 5 at every 4 or 5 puris, he was drinking water out of a big brass pot side by side. Papa's in him, writing it after 1 year, but still, most of the sadhus present there could not eat more than 4. The record, which some did not exceed 6 puris, but the phenomenal sadhu had been served in all 34 puris. He was also served more bhaji or curry and sweets. He ate them all with 1 pot full of water into the bargain. The affair is narrated here not out of any disrespect to the sadhu, but to appraise the reader of the case of a man who had a tremendous appetite, showing forth the wonderful Maya of Ram.
I did it. That Kali Ghat. Papa prayed. Yeah.
Papa prayed at the Kali Ghat, O Mother of the Universe, bless thy weak and helpless child. May thy humble slave look upon all womankind as mothers, representing thy divine form. That is why he said, pray for grace to overcome attraction for the opposite sex and be vigilant about it. somewhere, Papa gives, not merely a temple visit. He, for a devotee, for a sadhaka, for a householder, everything is there. So when we go to any temple of a Devi, he gives us a clue. Along with whatever else, you immediately address her mother and pray for this. So here, care should be taken to see that we do not look down upon somebody's unusual behavioral pattern. God makes us to witness such things. Anything is possible. Exemptions for valid reasons to be considered while adhering to norms. Though in an organization, there are to be some norms, otherwise we cannot run the organization. But there should be exceptions. In all our statutes, I don't know about in Indian statutes, when the rules and regulations are formed, the last clause there will be an exception clause. But nobody uses it, nobody will be given an exemption easily. But the framers have in their mind that there might be one category or one person who may not fall under this. He is entitled for that exemption. Norms are there. Without norms, no institution can survive. But at the same time, there should be exceptions. So the Anakshatra man, he had been given instructions to limit, but 11 o'clock, who are all there, they can be let in. Then after that, you have to say no. Because they have to manage, But still, he is given an allowance. Exemptions. We remember two incidents in this case. One is, in Uttarkashi. Once when we were staying there, we used to go and interact with senior Swamis who were disciples of Swami Tapovan Pradap. Tapovanji was a great Mahatma, Guru of Swami Chinmayanandaji. So every day it is a practice for us to go and meet them and ask their experiences with their master. So the person whom we were asking, he said, I am a retired civil supplies official. That was then coming under UP government, United Province. It was not called Uttar Pradesh, it was called United Province. And then he came to Uttarkashi for checking, surprise check in the ration, because ration was very, very limited. So the Anakshatra, he found only registered people should get the food. But in that particular, the food was given to one Swami who was not in the register. So he called them and took him to task. How can you supply? He said, all right, you may meet him and then you tell me. So then later he came to know that there was one Swami in Tapovan Kuti, so he went there, saw him. Then he came to know that Swami has not asked for any food. Somebody came to know that he is sitting there. So he went to this Anakshatra and told. So the Anakshatra man felt, no Mahatma should be starving. So he started sending. He may take a little. So this inspector went there, saw him, came, not uttered a word. And he said, came back and told the Anakshatra man, whatever he wants, don't wait for his instruction. Keep on sending. Because even if it is excess there, he will be given to somebody. Exceptions, And because he did not introduce, here in Mataji's case, one ration inspector came here. Puja Swamiji was sharing this with us. So on those days, nowhere else you get this ration rice at a subsidized rate. So Mataji instructed the ration shop Mala, those who have not taken, there will be excess, please send it to ashram. A lot of sadhus are to be fed. So he used to send. It is against the law. So when the inspector came here, he took him into task. I will take disciplinary action. He said, okay, okay. To whom you are sending? Ashram, Mataji. He came here. He met Mataji. He did not know first. Then he asked, I am told, yes, I have told all the surplus should be, she called somebody, take them to the Anakshatra and show him. When he went there, he saw all the sadhus were eating there. He came back, he gave a prostration to Mataji, whatever you want. I will instruct him. Whenever you want anything, you take it from. That is. So exceptions. But in these, we find nothing is self-centered, Exemptions are given, exemptions are given wherever there is no self-interest is involved. And immediately we get the message, Because there are no rules and regulations there, because they are above that, not that they want to violate, because no self-interest is there and nothing is done in a hush-hush way. She said, you go and see. If you think we should not accept, okay, you inform. Mataji appreciated his job also, his responsibility. But when he came back, the human element in him was touched. You and I, one more comes to my mind. When we were putting up a home for the aged in Wayanad, we used to come here for 15, 20 days and 10 or 15 days in the ashram in Wayanad. So at that time, the prompting came to set up a home for the aged destitute. So it was on the road, one small shed was put. About 2 or 3 destitutes have started coming. And we made arrangement. There was no electricity. So we went to the executive officer and told the executive engineer. We told him, say, look here, we are 3/4 of our month we are in an ashram. So we find it difficult to come to our office very often. This is the purpose for which this establishment has been done. You will be happy if you give the connection as early as possible. If any papers are to be signed, you can tell us. He looked at me and he said, give me the address. You go. In 10 days' time, we got the telephone call. They got the electricity. So when we went back, they said one day when a lineman came from the post, he just gave. And then later on, they found out there was a big argument in the office. No papers have been given. No official sanction has been given. How can the engineer say that? Then the engineer said, I will take up the responsibility. You and I don't take care of this segment. Somebody is coming forward to take this segment. At least we can do this, And if somebody answers, we will not say it was not secretly done. No. It is for this purpose. If he is asking for a house, I will not give. But because it is for a noble cause where old people are there, electricity is not there, means they may find it difficult. Then bring all the papers. And then when we went there, he said, you sign all these papers, dated that, and then go. So we have seen even people taking such strong decisions, exemptions, wherever there is no self-interest involved. Exemptions for valid reasons to be considered while adhering to norms. Maya teaches wise tuition by observing and learning from every situation. The eating more, it is something unusual, But watching our mind, whether we are belittling or mocking or whether we are trying to see how much a person can eat. 34 puris. The moment we think about it, we will start vomiting now. So that is the play. And Swayambhu, that is another very great important point in this, Swayambhu. In India, there are many such temples. Swayambhu means not consecrated, It just comes up. And then the temple comes. And then it becomes a place of worship. So this Tarakanath temple is having a Swayambhu. It was not that somebody went and did the Pradishta there. No. So here the reminder is, he is birthless and deathless. If an idol has been made and then installed there with due rights. That's a different question. Here there is something. In many places in India, you will find that. And it will have a special attraction for devotees. They will all go there. Nowadays, we don't know whether they're allowed to touch. Previously, we were all allowed to touch. Because this is kindled. Hey, you and I are coming from that nameless, formless. Your origin and my origin have come from that nameless and formless. You do not know that. By coming and seeing this, you start pondering over. At that time, we did not know. But after reading Papa's words, you go to your origin, then only we started thinking about it. Correct? If I am talking about, if I have to go to my origin, I was thinking about my parents. Then later on I understand my parents were also born to their parents. They were also born to their parents. So they cannot be the first cause. What is the first cause? A cause which is not subject to cause and effect, uncaused cause. Beginningless and endless. So Swayambhu touches and kindles our original source. You have made us aware of our source. Please make me to hold on to it. And you are a center of adoration, reverence, attraction. Because you are nameless, you are nameless and formless, so that you are not attached to anything. You are equal to everybody. So my life, your life, everything should be like that, because we all come from that origin. The origin of everybody. Nameless, formless. Bijam mam sarva bhutanam. I am the eternal seed of everything. So we all, just now we read, Vasudeva Kudumbakam. How does it go along with it? Because we all owe to the same origin. So a Swayambhu temple reminds us of the salient principle. And going through EQG, in quest of God, touches and kindles these unknown realms. We may go to a temple where you say it's Swayambhu, just not doing pranams and coming back. No. We are made to think about our origin. And then praying to him to make us move from me to we and we to him. Universalize your vision, Papa used to say. Chapter number 17 over. Tomorrow we see. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.